bit of history of the West Bank if you're interested in that. We can play a little trivia game, you and me, okay, to engage you into conversation. If you were traveling here, imagine you're traveling here on this road, say 120 years ago, which country you would be traveling in 120 years ago on this road? 120 years ago. You will be traveling in the Turkish Ottoman Empire. Okay, you'll be in Turkey. Okay, all right. If you were traveling 100 years ago, which country would be traveling in?
Britain. British.
You'll be traveling in Great Britain. Great Britain. Because Turkey was defeated and the Turkish Empire disappeared and the Turkish Republic appeared, and that's what is Turkey today. It's a republic in present borders. But if you were here 100 years ago, after World War I, you will see that the Turkish Empire was divided mostly between the French and the British. The French and the British. Remember, the French got Lebanon and Syria. That became French territory. And Britain got territory west of the River Jordan and east of the River Jordan. Okay. And when Britain was fighting against Turkey, they fought Turkey as part of the efforts to fight Germany at World War I. So Britain, okay, let me try to continue with the lecture a little bit. After World War I, or during World War I, Britain was fighting on two fronts. Britain was fighting in Europe, as you probably know, and Britain was fighting in the Middle East against Turkey. And it was difficult for the British, and they were trying to recruit as many people as possible to help them. So they made some promises to the Jews, the soldiers on the left. Look at the tank on the right-hand side since the Six-Day War, 1967. That's a Jordanian tank here on the right. Look at that. The British government promised to the Arabs to establish a country for the Arabs, and they promised to the Jews to establish the country for the Jews. And the country for the Arabs was established, and that's Jordan on your left-hand side, which became an independent country in 1922 as a result of, are you familiar with the word Versailles Treaty? The Treaty of Versailles, which ended World War I. Great Britain gave the territory on your left-hand side across the Jordan River, which was Turkey before, gave it to the Jordanians. And the Jews expected that they will be given territory from the river on your left-hand side, which is Jordan River, right? Would you agree that there's a river below us? We just can't see it, but there's a river down there that separates Israel on the right from Jordan on the left. And the Jewish folks were hoping that they will receive from Britain this territory west of the River Jordan. In other words, from where we are all the way to the Mediterranean. By the way, what you see on your right-hand side is the mountains of Samaria. That's the mountains of Samaria on your right-hand side, and Gilead on your left-hand side. Okay. Well, Great Britain even signed a letter of promise to the Jewish people, which was actually signed by the British Foreign Secretary, Lord Balfour. And this letter is known as the Balfour Declaration, which allowed the Jewish people to come and settle in this territory that continued to be British protectorate. So We did not become an independent state at the end of World War I in 1918, but we became British Protectorate, okay, or British Colony, or British Mandate. There are a few names for that, between the River Jordan and the Mediterranean Sea. That's 100 years ago. Okay. But then what happened is, when the Jewish people started to settle here under the British Protectorate, that made the Arab folks that lived here very, very unhappy, and they started the armed struggle against the Jewish people that started to settle here. And the British first were favorable towards the Jews, but then they became favorable towards the Arabs for one very simple reason. The oil was found in the Arab lands, and petrol became an essential element of economy and the future war, because it was inevitable. And then the war broke out, World War I, and the Jewish population supported the Brits, the Arab population supported the Germans, but the British had an upper hand here. However, the British economy after World War II was totally broke, and the British government decided to start getting rid of their colonies. And the first colony that they left was India, and the second one was Palestine, British Palestine. On the 29th of November 1947, the United Nations voted according to the British request, or upon the British request, of the division of the British colony of Palestine. And the United Nations divided the British colony into the Jewish country and the Arab country. In other words, the territory from where we are to the Mediterranean Sea. Okay. The Jews accepted this division. The Arabs rejected this division and immediately started a war against the Jews. It took the British administration a few months to pull out from their colony here, and on the 14th of May they left, and the Jewish leadership and the Jewish people here decided to declare an independent Jewish state within the boundaries that were designated by the United Nations decision a few months prior to that. But the Arab people rejected this, and the Arab countries around us rejected it. And so the War of Independence broke out. Jordanians, Egyptians, Lebanese, Syrians, and Iraqis broke into the war against Israel, and Israel was able to defeat all those armies except the Jordanian army. And the Jordanian army was able to continue to the right and occupy territories on your right-hand side, which was populated by the Palestinian Arabs, and that's Samaria that you see on your right, and Judea that comes up a little further down south. So they occupied this territory, and it became part of Jordan. It did not become an independent Palestinian state, but it became part of the Kingdom of Jordan. They annexed it to the Jordanian Kingdom in 1948. Actually 1949 by that time. And nevertheless, Israel was able to survive But the Arab countries did not leave the idea to suffocate and exterminate Israel, and they tried in 1956, and then in 1967, Israel decided to make a preventive strike against the coalition of the Arab countries, and it was very successful. So Israel defeated Syria and was able to control part of the Golan Heights, where we were yesterday and the day before, right? And was able to defeat the Egyptians and got control over Sinai Peninsula all the way up to the Suez Canal, and defeat the Jordanians and push them to the left to cross the Jordan to the east bank of the River Jordan, and establish control. Israel established control on the right in Judea and Samaria. Okay, and Israeli government decided to negotiate with the PLO, and as a result of this negotiations, this territory that you see was divided. The villages like what you see now is a Palestinian populated village, so it became a Palestinian self-controlled territory, and the Jewish villages are remained under the Israeli control. Okay, that's what you see. When you see nice clean village, you'll know it's a Jewish village. When you see not so clean, it's a Palestinian village, self-controlled Palestinian territory. And so the Palestinians received control over the Arab-populated towns and villages in Samaria, in Judea, and in Gaza. And then in Gaza, the Hamas won the elections and became a ruler of Gaza. Israel evacuated the Jewish settlements from Gaza, and Hamas became a total control government of Gaza. So it's de facto became two states of the Palestinians: the state of Gaza and the state of the West Bank. Another thing that I would like to show you is the ancient city of Jericho, or Jericho, on your right hand side. It's a Palestinian town today. There's no Jewish people living there, but it is there's nothing there you can see, but we know the location. This is ancient Jericho, but it is Palestinian populated territory, and we are not getting there. Can you folks see the hills on the right hand side? There's like an antenna. Can you see the antenna there on the right? This is a possible location of temptation of Christ. Temptation. Remember the temptation in the desert? Okay, so that's temptation on the right hand side, which actually happened after his baptism, right? And Jesus' baptism took place somewhere on your left. Okay, hopefully we'll be able to find a place for lunch break at 1 o'clock. And here you will see camels. Those are tourist camels. They are waiting for you. And just remember that it will cost you money. I don't know how much money, but they will tell you, oh, it's free to get on the camel. But then if you want to get off the camel, guess what? That's where you pay. So you will see those camels all in Egypt at every corner, everywhere. So whether you do it here, you do it there, it doesn't matter, but you need to negotiate the price. Even taking picture with the camel will cost you money. Sure, they want $1. Absolutely. Just negotiate it so you will not be surprised. There on the right hand side. Right there. That's here on the right. Oh yeah, on the right. So in about 15 minutes or so, we'll be at the border, and there will be restrooms there, so we'll be able to use the restrooms. Can you please make sure you keep your passports somewhere accessible, because they will ask to produce a passport every few minutes. Show me your passport, show me your passport, show me your passport. And please keep a little, you should have a little blue paper in it. So please keep it inside there. I got it. Don't lose it. I should give you, I think that's the procedure, I will give you another little slip of paper that tells us that your border crossing fee is paid to Israel. So on Israeli side, you don't need to pay anything, nothing. Only when you get to Egypt. So right here, when you're with me, you're not supposed to pay anything. But please do not take with you alcohol, wine, beers, all that alcohol. They will not allow you. Plus, it's Ramadan, so you might. Yeah. Also, try not to smoke there at the terminal on the Egyptian side, again because of Ramadan. But there will be an Egyptian guide, and he will tell you all the other details. Please do not take pictures at the terminal. All right? Please do not film at the terminal. It's not necessary.
Well, you'll get a laugh. That's what that other was. It was really expensive.
I guess Vic, you'll get a couple of treats from us, Dad. For you.
This is our Navy base here on the left of Israeli Navy in the Red Sea. Our Navy is not very large. We don't have aircraft carriers, but we have 8 submarines.
Are you sure they're not U-boats? German U-boats? Might be German U-boats.
They might be, I think they got them from Germany.
My dad's bought. But I'm just saying because they can use these, you will be into Egypt.
Correct. Yep. But you have to, when you continue to connect with the Indian Ocean, there's a narrow straits called Bab el Mandeb, and that's where the Houthis are getting you. It's Yemen on the left and Somalia on the right.
Everybody said, what do you think about this submarine? And Rob Schneider goes, I think I need a tetanus shot just from looking at it. But you know what? It was a good movie. When we talked about U-boats, there's the movie Das Boot that was
Part of the surfer parasail. Nice. Well, they got a nice little beach here.
Saturday, we'll be have to leave. We'll be stuck here till Saturday. We'll be stuck here till Saturday. But Sheila said the tourist locations are fairly safe as long as we keep a low profile. So we can go do some touristy things and go look at hieroglyphics and go to the pyramids.
Is this the Sinai?
Sunday.
That's the Red Sea.
So we'll be here 5 days.
The Red Sea.
Or the reef.
The only way we can do it.
Well, it's either that or $2,700 a piece.
Red Sea.
I'm not getting defensive. I'm just saying either that or $2,700 a piece. We can't afford that. So.
This is the seamless part.
Yeah, I better call my boss and let her know.
Yeah, right?
That looks like a restaurant or something.
Yeah, or a lighthouse.
Yeah, pretty fancy lighthouse. Could be both.
But I mean, yes.
Lighthouse with a restaurant.
It's like an aquarium.
Yeah. So, yeah.
You kept that little blue paper, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. I checked. It's in my passport.
That's what I did.
I just stuck it in there and put it back in my wallet.